Anyway, let's get to the story. So this all started back in 2000.
2000.
I mean,
1996
No, actually 1994.
for you.
For me, it started.
Yes.
So there's my part, and then there's Bernie's part, because Bernie's part didn't kick into my part kicked in.
Basically.
So I had gone through some series of, you know how that's the
Debauchery?
typical story
Oh, sorry.
when a man gets that heartbroken when they're a teen.
Oh,
and
you went
then-
all the way back there.
And then, well, I'm not going back there. But you know the typical story: a man gets his heart broken when he's a teen, and then he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna ruin the world. None of these girls mean anything. I'm just gonna be a savage out there." Well, that's why I was in that phase. My whole phase, I was in that savage phase, which is why I went down to Freaknik. If you saw that other video, I'll link it up here somewhere.
Which is why I told him he wasn't saved. But anyway, I digress. We'll move on.
Right. So I was in that in the crux of it, and I was like, eventually, I want to get back to being in a relationship, being a relationship dude, because I was always a relationship dude. I wasn't one who wanted to be out there in the streets. I just found myself outside in the streets and enjoyed it. So I was like, eventually, I'm going to need to get back. So I need to start to figure out how to get back. So I started a process. I didn't know how long it would take. Yes, I did. I think I said it would probably take me 2 years.
This is in 1994.
It was in 94.
Right.
I said it would probably take me 2 years to scale back all these tomfoolery and hijinks that I was doing in these whoremongering ways. It would probably take me 2
What
years
kind of ways, Heath?
these whoremongering ways.
Okay.
It would take me 2 years to scale that back. And so I was like, I need to figure out like what I need to do. So I started like pulling back from certain spaces. I started stop hanging out with certain people, and I began to get more spiritually in tune with what it is I should be doing in church and in the Lord and all that other stuff while I was growing and maturing and everything. And then, life was life. And at the time I had a job. So I was like, I was an adult now. I was 24, 25 years old. And I was like, okay, eventually I'm going to start getting back into this relationship space. And
mind you, I did not know him during all this time, but we had mutual friends. So I knew of him. I would always hear his name, but I didn't know him at all. I just heard his name in circles because we had mutual friends.
Right. So I was like, eventually I'm going to get married. So I need to, and this is like when Holly Berry and David Justice, the baseball player, they had just got divorced. And I was like, if somebody can divorce Holly Berry, then there's must be something other to marriage than like beautiful, good looks and body. So I was like,
really? That's when that happened. That's what gave you that conclusion. Like, absolutely. Oh, wow.
Yes. So
I only remember one thing about that Holly Berry and David Justice situation. What? I remember when I saw her tell a story and she was feeling sad about the divorce or whatever. And then she said, and they went in the courtroom and he opened his mouth and she said, "Oh yes, I got it. Now I remember. I understand why we're here." That's all I remember.
So I was like, I need to have a list of character traits that I'm looking for in a woman, in a wife. And so anybody who meets those character traits, you make the list of a qualifier of somebody who will like make the list of somebody who I would potentially marry. Now, mind you, I wasn't dating anybody. I didn't have a girlfriend. I was single. I was still outside. And so I did not really have any, I had a criteria that I was creating, but I didn't have anybody that I was like, okay, yes, I want to marry you. So what happened over that period of time, over that 2-year period, there were certain people who I met. I was like, okay, you make the list. Okay, no, you don't make the list. You make the list. You made the list, but now you're off the list because I saw something that I didn't like.
Now he's pointing this way, but he's not talking about me, just so you know.
Right.
I was not on no list.
She wasn't on the list.
If you want to see another clip of this episode, click here. If you want to see another video about relationship topics, click here.